Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about making your CV crisp and effective. Last time we talked about 7 mistakes in your CV, and out of them, one was what is the ideal length of the CV, and we said that the ideal length should be 2. Now the challenge is how do you restrict your CV to only 2 pages? That's the topic today, and now, what I'm going to talk about is basically crisp writing, and the principles are applicable to all forms of writing. So, basically, you are writing a report, a memo, an executive summary, or something like that. The principle remains same. However, we will apply the principles to writing your CV because that is what opens your gate of opportunity. That's what you're interested in. So, we'll restrict our discussion to that. Now, writing a CV is a science and an art. And to give you something very simple terms, it is like making bagan ka bharta, right? So everyone, would have a different taste, different flavor to it. However, still some of the basic ingredients to get it right are still consistent. So what we'll talk today about is the recipe. Uh, However, to really master it, you need a little bit of practice. But nevertheless, let's get the recipe right. Let's get the basic ingredients right. So with that, let me start with a little bit background of what happens after you post a CV on your job portal or you apply to a company. And many people feel that their CV is going to be seen by head of the departments, head of the function of the country. And many people say that CEO would like to see my CV. Yeah, sure. But where does it all start from? It starts from the recruitment process. And before even HR of the company can see your CV, in most of the companies, a large part of recruitment is outsourced to some or the other recruitment company. Now, nothing against the recruitment industry. They do a fabulous job. They do a very difficult job, in fact, in present market scenario of finding out talent. In some of the recruitment companies, the kind of recruiter who are going to shortlist your CV and get the bunch out uh, could be people who do not have knowledge of the industry. I'm sorry to say that. That should not happen, but that happens. So they won't know much about your past companies, they won't know the kind of skill sets. All they would know is certain keywords. Now, recruitment industry is also works like a factory. So these are graduates, in many cases undergraduates, who are given the task of finding few keywords. Now these keywords are the words on which your CV gets shortlisted, and these keywords are the key to getting a job. So let's get this right, that undergraduate who is looking at the job portals and he has a target of collecting say 100 CV per day. Yeah, that's right. He cannot read through everything. What he will try to find out are the keywords. Does your CV has those keywords or not? So the very first ingredient is keywords. So okay, so that's the first ingredient. Now, where do you keep these ingredients? How do we go about it? So, let me do one thing. Take a blank paper. Yeah, take a blank white paper. Take a pen and start making notes or start putting the ingredients in place so that you have the right ingredients. Many of, sorry to get back to a common discussion, but many of my friends come to me with their old CV and they say that, can you modify it a little bit, can you just do something to it and it do some magic to it and make the CV really effective. Again, my answer to it is uh, it is like going with already made bagan ka bharta to a chef and asking him, can you do something with my bharta and make a magic out of it? No, it's not possible. That's already made, right? And so your CV is like making bagan ka bharta. You need to start afresh. You cannot come with something already made and say, yeah, can you make some changes to it? And no, that cannot be done. So please ignore, forget your old CV. One way of doing that is you need to dump your old CV. Now, how do you dump your old CV? Take a print out of it, take it in front of you. Okay, now I'll say take two prints of it. Okay, keep one print aside, take the other print, in your hand, look at it, look at it with all the pride that you have copied pasted from so many of friends, and tear it apart. Tear it apart. Please recycle it. Be environmental, do environment friendly job, but tear it apart. That's very important. Because if you have to move on in life, you need to dump one, right? You all know that, right? So it's very, very important to dump your first CV and then take a blank, plain paper. Start writing the keywords which you think are critical for the job, which you think defines you, which you think are the jargons used in your industry. So this could be name of some technology. This could be managing a team. This could be having managing a turnover of this much crores. This could be name of a technology like Java or Red Hat certification. This could be, say, something like uh, advertisement campaign managing or anything. So these are the keywords using which the recruiter is going to hunt you, right? So be ready to get hunted. So the idea is throw those meatballs which the recruiter is going to catch. So on a white piece of paper, keep those stuff written, which are the keywords ready with you. Okay, so that's the step two. Step one was dumping your old CV. If you have not dumped, if you have not moved over from that, you cannot move to a next one. That's the principle of life, applies everywhere. Once you have all the keywords in a place, then what is your unique skill set? You need to ask yourself, what are three or four? Some people also call it core competencies. And what I have seen is some people with 5 years of experience having 15 core competency. No, no, you can't have 15 core competency, not at all. You can have two, you can have three. These are skill set. Let's not even call them core competency. That's a technical word. I'll not get into that during this discussion, maybe some other time. Let's just say what are the skill sets that you have acquired. Make a list of 3, 4, 5 top skill sets which you want to highlight, which will get you recruited. So what are the keywords that are frivolous word? I mean, I would not like to have them in my CV, but I'll have them because those are the jargons that will get my CV shortlisted at the very first level. Second is skill set. Those are solid work that you have done. And now this skill set need to come in some chronological order of the jobs that you have changed, starting from the most recent jobs. Now these are the two raw materials that you have kept for making your bagan ka bharta. What now you have to understand is whatever ingredients are going in needs to be mutually exclusive and combinedly exhaustive, right? So you need not have two skill sets which mean one and the same. Okay, you need not have two skill sets which are similar in nature. So your skill sets should be different from each other. However, once you have made the list to combine all of that, it is exhaustive of your career. Now that's very important, and all this can be done only on a blank piece of white paper. If you're going to use a laptop, you're going to use your old CV. If you're going to try to make something from your old bagan ka bharta, you cannot make a fresh one. So please do this exercise on a white blank paper. Write the keywords of the industry, keywords of the job, then write your skill sets. Skill sets could be uh, managing distributors. Managing distributors for 5 cities. That is one skill set that you carry. Managing a campaign or media campaign for outdoor advertisement. That could be another. So these are unique skill sets that you carry, and these needs to get highlighted. Once these two are ready with you, third step is writing a little bit more about these skill sets. And as I said, these skill sets should come under the name of the company, your experience, chronological order. Under this skill set, now people are in habit of trying to glorify their work. Do not use adjectives. Very dedicatedly, in extreme situation, complex tasks, huge margins, fantastic achievements, all these are not required. What is required in your CV are action items that you have performed, verb or action item that you have performed. So what are the verbs? Okay, going back to school grammar, but verbs are action that you have actually done. Assimilated data, okay, um, analyzed data, okay, presented MIS to the top management, okay, um, managed 200 distributors, okay, enrolled 30 new distributors, got business worth 20 crores for the company. These are all action items, and these need not have any adjectives. Plain action item are sufficient. So within your skill set, you need to describe 2, 3 unique things which you have done. Now, why your CV gets long? Because you tend to write full job description. You tend to write everything that you have done, and your colleague has done, and your subordinate has done, and your boss has done. Isn't that right? Yeah, I know. Please. Now, my point is, if you are seriously looking for a job, and there is a person who's seriously looking at you, he exactly knows what you have done in that particular role. Yeah. So let's take an example of PNG versus Unilever. Suppose you are a area sales manager in PNG, and now Unilever is considering your CV. Do you think the HR in Unilever would not have an idea what are the area sales manager of PNG is doing? Do you really think so? In fact, in that case, you don't need even a CV, right? Think about it. To give you another example. Suppose you are a senior software engineer with Cognizant, and now you are applying for Infosys. Do you think the HR in Infosys does not know what a senior software engineer in SAP module for business intelligence is doing? Do you really think so? They know it. So the point is what unique you have added to the role. What is your contribution? So you need to write those stuff. If you restrict yourself to writing only your contribution and your work, you can finish it in 2 pages. If you start writing each and everything that is required to be done in the job, you will not be able to finish it. So that's the third uh, level of detail that we have come. We gave the keywords, then we had skill sets in a chronological order of your companies. Within the skill set, you have the activities that you have done. Now these activities are to be in verb and not in form of any adjectives. And only specific things that you have achieved, things that you have managed, things for which you have got appreciation, things which you are really proud of, and not regular task. Some of the people say, but I have always been doing average task. I have been an average employee. What do I do? Okay. Still, there would be certain elements which you have really enjoyed in your job, certain things which you have been proud of. Just mention those things, and probably in one line you can summarize everything else. So just 2 to 3 bullets under every skill set is sufficient. Once you have all these ingredients ready, now the point is how are you going to serve this? Okay. Again, remember the same bagan ka bharta. Now you cannot have a very small bowl and put all the bharta into it. That is one way of doing it, but that's not a very impressive way. What I recommend is you should have at least 20 to 30% of white spaces in your CV. White spaces are margins, spacing between your lines, spacing between the bullet points. You can have tables in between. Tables look fantastic in CV. That gives a structure to the CV. Try to use tables, try to use bullets, tries to use sub bullets, try to use headers, sub headers. Highlight. You can highlight the header and sub header in slightly different color. When I say slightly different color, it could be only blue or black. Yeah, that's a professional color. No pink, yellow, brown, orange, magenta, and all those. Yeah, okay. You can do all those stuff. So use bullets, use tables, sub bullets. For maybe for every unique skill set, you have a separate table. Okay, within the table, you'll say that uh, I have done these three things. Okay, so if I say I have managed, I'm into sales, consulting sales. Um, I'd say I have managed pre-sales business development uh, for 10 PSUs. I have managed corporate client in Middle East and South Africa, and I have managed oil and gas industry domestic large players. Okay, but these are three bullet points within one skill set, that is business development. And within that, I explains everything. So what I can do is I can highlight in bold certain of the points. I still need 20 to 30% of white spaces, because if it is too many words, it's not about crumpling everything. It's too many words, sentences, everything in a 2 pages. People would feel it too heavy. So the idea is, when you're going to serve the bag and bharta, serve it in a big plate and put the bharta in a side so that there is some vacant space for it to breathe. So that's a way of serving it. So these are the points that you need to have in mind. So as of now, other aspects of being honest, knowing your uh, competencies, your strengths, weaknesses, we'll discuss later. Uh, and to end this discussion, I would now try to give you a formal structure, some very basic ingredients. Now you have your white paper ready now. Now white paper has your keywords, which you have to. So keywords are like garnishing. Okay, at the end of it, you have to ensure that it is spread all over. Okay, it is only to be picked up at the beginning. Okay, so but typically in Indian homes you will see dhania patta upar se. Yeah, that's your keywords. Okay, so that's important because that is how it is going to get picked up. Okay, now so it could be in terms of dry fruits because that is what people pick up. So that's your keywords. Then you have your skill sets. Within skill sets, you have the explanations in verbs in action form, not in adjective forms, and then your boxes. Always, now this is the raw material that you have got. Once you have got this raw material, okay, now think of a 2 line summary of your career. Now this would have, so you can have typically say um, BIT, passed out in 2002, having 8 years of experience and managing a team of 5 people, currently working as a senior software engineer with Cognizant. Now that's your introduction, that's your top beginning, and it says the total experience, it says your current company, it says your qualification, it says what time you passed out, and it says the technology that you are working on. Fine. So if someone wants to make a recruitment decision, probably he can even make it if it's very clear what he wants. So he can make it even from the first 2 lines. So that is your career summary. That is how you begin your CV. Career summary at the beginning of the CV. And then in chronological order, you break your skill set, keywords, and explanation. After that, you put in your educational qualification, educational summary, then some personal details like your email ID, your passport number, date of birth. Please avoid giving too much of home address, permanent, local, and stuff. No one is worried about that. Okay. The only way in today's era Someone is going to contact you through email or phone number. Make sure that is prominently there. You can even put your email and uh, phone number on the header and footer. That's fine. But there is no need of a street number 32 in front of railway station close to um, some some old tree and stuff like that. No, it only eats up your space. All those can be removed from your CV. That's no one is going to write a letter to you which a postman is going to come. It's not a 1970s Bollywood movie, and then you're going to pop out that letter from postman and say, "Ma, mujhe naukri mil gayi." It's not going to happen. You'll get it on email. So why do you really need to put your full detail, permanent, local, and whatever address is in your CV? You can just remove it. What is important is the email ID, your passport number if you have, because sometimes they want to do a background verification. Your phone number, definitely they like to contact. A date of birth, because they would like to understand what is your age group, and do you fit in their criteria. So that's all for today, and you already have uh, heard about the 7 CV mistakes which you would have corrected by now. All the very best. Planning to put all of this stuff in the YouTube channel, so you can subscribe there and revisit this easily. And all the very best in your job search. Let's be better. Signing off for tonight. Good night.